Some Sunday morning, la da 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 da. If I could cast it to second grade, I'd be considering it right now. World's loudest person. Anyway, I know that's an achievement. This is your old pal Eshkalar, the world's greatest kitty wizard. I'm going to tell you a story today that I bet you've never heard. Now, various cultural traditions have preserved fragments of this tale, but only your old pal Eshkalar was there to audit the adventurer himself and to tell you today what really happened. So, you know how in the world there are animals you see them every day, you know, you pet the badger and you pull the wolverine off your back. And, eagles come and they carry, dingoes take your baby away, and eagles carry off sheep. I see it all the time in the AI videos, so they must be true. It's teaching a whole generation to not trust anything, even their minds, even their eyes, even their seniors, even their role models, to not trust anything. To stay at home and never go anywhere, and develop eye strain, headaches, major migraines in their 40s. Never leave the house again. We're going to need that guaranteed income, you guys. Get on it. So, I'm telling you. Oh look, new mystery meat has appeared in Wendy's burgers and the price stays low. Wait, what? So anyway, there's no dystopia here. So I'm here to tell you a story from the infinite past. This is the event that buried Göbekli Tepe and the other old human meeting sites. And otherwise we would not know about them because we just found them by accident. And we wonder, why did they get buried? Oh, it must have just been spill, or it was the flood, dudes. So the flood buried all this stuff. And you'll notice something about the flood and its remnant. Today, you got puppy dogs. You got kitty cats. Kitty cat, hey baby. You got badgers. I don't need no stinking badger in here. So anyway, but you don't have Therizinosaurus, and you don't have Titanosaurus, and you don't have Shonisaurus, and you don't have Cyognathus, and you don't have Ornithomimus. You don't have any of them cool guys. You don't have Phytosaurus. You don't have Purosaurus, world's largest crocodilian. Just big, 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 big. Open its mouth, you could lay down to go to sleep. And, how about that? Forever, probably. Anyway, why aren't these animals still around, huh? Some of them would be able to beat the hell out of any animal today. What, giant flat-faced bear, probably the most dangerous predator the world has ever created that wasn't a microorganism. So, because amoebas, man, if you want a story of horror and like wild things, read up on amoebas. They are. It may be that the first amoeba is still alive. And you're already wearing out from getting too much tan at 27. So anyway, what happened was, when Noah, in the old days, was working, well, he was a shipwright. And he had this family business going, and all of his kids wanted to do something else, Shem and Ham and all these guys all had their own thing going. But Noah would call them together for big family projects. And one was when he claimed to have had a visitation from God himself. That's right, the God that everybody's arguing over in those days, not like they do today. So anyway, and he says, yeah, God came to me and he told me that it's going to rain. It's going to rain for like a long time, a lot of rain. Wait, a lot of rain. And that I have to build a giant ship and put all the animals in the world on it and save them from this giant flood that's going to take the whole of the world. Don't know where the water's coming from. Thank goodness it's God. He'd know. He could make it himself. But he certainly, if you look at a globe of the earth, it's like this. If you look at a globe of all the water on the earth, it's like this. So God had to make a lot of water and then take it away again afterwards. Is that fascinating or what? So anyway. So Noah says, I gotta build this ship, gets the whole family together, and those guys were kind of like, I'm gonna say it gently, elitists. They thought they were the best. God spoke to their dad, and they were each of them, one was an engineer, and one was an architect, and one, they were just They all had the skills. They had the scribey skills. A lot of people couldn't read in those days, and they could read and everything, except probably Proto-Indo-Aryan Turkish, which all the signs were written in. It's a specialty skill reading those signs, I tell you what. But so they built this ship. You people that think that the ark was so many cubits by so many cubits, well, a heavenly cubit, which is the measurement that God gave Noah in his dream, is not this. It is a godly cubit. It is 1,017 times the size of a human cubit. So it was a big, long cubit. Big. So the boat we built, which you needed wizards for, he co-opted all the wizards in Egypt to build it, had to have force field reinforcement. Well, ask an engineer friend if you could build a ship that was 6,000 feet long, 3,000 feet of freeboard today. And he's going to say, no, you need force fields for that. Your old pal Eshkalar was throwing force fields in those days. Well, at the end of the regular job, Noah says, well, everybody's going to die after the flood except the people that are on my ship here. And would any of you wizards like to have another job? Because I'm going to need somebody to clean all the poop up while all these animals are collected. And then those that stay on the ark with me and my boys, you guys will live into the next generation and under forever, and you grow fruitful and multiply, and fill the world with your poop. Or whatever it was he said he would do. But anyway, the point being, like a rhinoceros, they build walls of poop around the world, but their minds kind of get confused and they forget where they left off. So, ask a rhino. You got AI, you got ChatGPT, have it ask a rhino what the hell with the poop, man. You'll understand what I'm talking about here. So, what happened was we, 80 wizards that had helped Noah and his family build the ship by casting the force spells and the permanency spells, which takes a lot out of you, let me tell you. It kills some people. So, and then, and hold that whole ark together, right? Well, then after that, we got to be the pooper scooper people. We all got these big stout mops with these big heavy sticks, mop all the poop up. Well, if you didn't get all the poop mopped up, one of Noah's sons would come down and say, yeah, okay, the floggings will begin again. And we'd all get flogged for it. Because, like I said, they were elitists. You guys aren't doing your job. You know what you get. And we would get it. So check the histories. People did this forever. They're flogging people in ships for any kind of tiny infraction. And you think that began with the British? No, it's been going all the way back to these elitist guys that thought they were better than us. Yes, they were. Look, the whole world worships them now. What about me? I feel like saying, well, Mr. Shivani, when is there going to be time for Raven? If you don't get that joke, it's okay. You're not Canadian. So anyway, so we rapidly got tired of getting flogged for not keeping the ship clean enough. And let me tell you, some animals don't just poop. They make a production. They make a presentation. Some animals have a fireworks show, and they make a hippo look small. And if you wonder why I use the word hippo, sometimes go to a zoo, stand in front of a hippo with your eyes closed and your mouth open, and you'll see what I mean. So anyway, so there we were, working our asses off, and then getting flogged for it. So we were pretty unhappy, and I was thinking about unionizing, but the last person that tried to do that didn't show up at the muster the next morning. It makes me wonder where he went. So anyway, that seems to happen in a capitalist world for some reason. They claim equality, but they don't practice it. It's all about enforcement. Just ask Frick and Carnegie. So anyway, and Pinkertons. You don't know those stories. It's a good thing to read history, because you'll get just as confused as your old pal Eshkalar. So we 80 wizards that were now being the pooper scoopers on the ark, we rapidly got tired of these animals spreading their poo far and wide. And so we decided on a declension. That's right, I'm using the word appropriately. You English teachers. We decided on a declension. We would decide that any animal that could be trained to poop over the side stayed. Any animal that couldn't be trained to poop over the side, we had these big stout broom handles or mop handles. We had 80 of us and only one of them or two of them at the most. And so we started pushing them animals over the side that wouldn't go with the system. Now that hurts your back. It wears you out. You don't live as long because of it, but it gives you a feeling you were in control of something in your life, or otherwise you would be a virtual slave because he wasn't paying us in shekels per hour or anything. just letting us live. So, and because, we managed to keep the worst offenders of the poop squad over the side where they belonged. Now they're in the rocks and the fossils and all that. See, that's your old pal Eshkalar's fault. And his friends had decided not to unionize, but we would activize. Oh, there is a difference. Pinkertons know. So anyway, and so that's why you have dogs and cats and primate apes and all the land animals today that we have that we're rapidly wiping out because if we can't eat it, we kill them off. Tell me that isn't the history of mankind. As a matter of fact, I think it's 65% of all the mammal mass, all the mass of all the mammals on Earth is being raised for human consumption. That's how much human impact there is. That's more than all the rhinos and all the elephants and all that stuff. All right. So we left little elephants stay and we pushed Paleoloxodon over living tight. You see, that picture of that German guy that got covered, like the Dutch boy in the Sherman-Williams. Yeah, except with elephant poop. The interconnectedness of all things. But so that didn't happen more than 5 or 6 times. And once we got all those big animals off the ship, well, the ship rode a little higher, it was a little more active, but it was a lot cleaner. And Noah and his boys started staying up on top all the time. We didn't have to bother them anymore. We just come out to the boat hatch when they threw down the food, and then we go to our little corners where we had used what poo we had kept for growing our special mushrooms and weed. And then when the ark finally came to rest, they say today it was Mount Ararat, but what they confuse it with, they were eating arrowroot biscuits, and so they got the word wrong because chroniclers, they're eating mushrooms just like we were, and we absconded. I mean, we left the ship under the usual conditions because we didn't want to have to usher all those hungry predators off the boat. So we disappeared, like cockroaches into the woodwork of the world, and Noah and his boys went on to become the dominant species on Earth. How about that? The dominant species on Earth, like the dinosaurs. You think I'm kidding? I exactly mean what I said. And of course, your old Eshkalar survived the flood of Noah, and all the animals that you don't see around anymore, but you see them in the fossils and stuff. Yeah, it was kind of my fault. I made the call, the declension, as it were. The ones that could poop over the side, they stayed. The ones that couldn't be trained, it's all for a better world later on. And you're welcome. Because if you've ever stepped in Tyrannosaur poo, you have your own pal Eshkalar to thank. Here on the 12th of September, in the world of muggles.